Despite liking stuff like Star Wars and Kirby since about as long as I've been able to draw breath, I've never really been able to call myself a sci-fi fan. That's not pedanticism about sci-fi and science fantasy, I just didn't really pick things up merely for being sciencey or spacey. Like, I didn't really get the appeal of metal corridors and blinking lights and giant spaceships or the endless peace of the stars filled with creepy aliens. This began to shift a couple years ago with Metroid and Axiom Verge, after I woke up from the catatonic slumber that the toxic Metroidvania that put me into, that is. There was something I specifically loved about these games, and it was baked into the creepy spaceships and the grosso organic bits. This feeling always kept them a notch above Castlevania and the other dark fantasy vibe Metroidvanias, which I will continue to say as they're dark, and they are fantasy. But why? What's the through line there? And why did it feel so intensely personal? Well, today is 3 kinds of momentous occasion. If you're new to this series and the channel, you might be forgiven for not knowing that getting a pulse is the first time I get into something. The first time I hear it for what it is. The first moment where I connect and I can say, oh, I think I kind of get this now. It's like a first impression time capsule, so to speak. But till now, it's always been video games. But it's time to talk about a movie. Not even an anime movie, a flesh one. A movie which lights up all these games that I love with new meaning, and one that I kind of just already love for what it is. Today, I get a pulse on Alien 1979. This is my log. The reason I make these videos is it's actually really difficult for me to make a connection with things. I don't try new things very often. I don't need a push to try something new. I don't need free time. I don't need reminders. I need a genuine connection, a strong one. Something that lets me take the thing seriously right away and not slide it down my guzzle like so much popcorn to dull my feelings on a Saturday night. And in this case, I wanted to make this video because I don't terribly like being afraid or disturbed. So no matter how many times people suggested, well gee, if you like Metroid so much, why don't you just try Alien? You might like that. It just never happened until I sat down on my stream to rank every single Radiohead song for some reason. Bloom is already a pretty strange song as far as Radiohead songs go. I mean, they've got weird vibes, but this one is just kind of super duper spaced out on a very obscure album at this point, I would say. And a remix of that song, making it even more, I don't know, esoteric, leapt straight out at me after I was vibing out post-stream. There was something in it. I would say it was the unearthly yet very natural soundscape. There were goopy textures and this overall hauntingly wet biological feel, but it wasn't all biological. It's creepy, it's peaceful, a distorted drone voice is crooning about the universal sigh and such as one does, and this combination of things just kind of worked on my Saturday night till I could finally reach this weird point in which I said, dude, I could just watch Alien 1979 for $3 on YouTube tonight. That's a thing I could do. And I think it would kind of feel the way this song makes me feel. So I make fun of my attachment to that album, but it got me into Alien before Metroid did, so way to go. However, I like this movie significantly more than I like that song. I even like it much more than the 65% that I initially tried of Alien Romulus when I was trapped on a plane ride with it. That one broke the ice by acclimating me to the whole grabby parasite, acid blood, phallic imagery kind of dealio, but I didn't really like where things were going with the android plot, and I don't think I really connected with it. I took a peep, I broke the ice, I looked at the whole Alien franchise, but I don't think I really got the point of Romulus. I didn't finish it either. Because I went specifically for blippy bloops and mechanical feels, and I was already hip to the whole formula, Alien was able to take me to these frightening places without making me feel lost. I was always in the pocket. I didn't feel like I was wasting my time or just getting needlessly unsettled like I usually do when a horror movie misses. I knew that everyone was gonna die except for the protagonist. Although the final scene, and that made it easier, right? To just kind of enjoy what made every character interesting and appreciate those scenes without any fear for their life because they're gonna die. Like, there was dread, but it was this very, like, ooh, 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 when's it gonna happen kind of thing, versus, like, a deeper, like, oh no, like, really, really feeling for them. The intro, I think, was really emblematic of why I liked the movie. I was able to enter the goosebump zone as things kind of just got worse and worse very slowly, but I never felt too overwhelmed. I was in it the whole time, basically. I knew, okay, so a parasite is going to jump onto one of these people because they're exploring an evil-looking H.R. Giger Black Egg Hollow Knight room. Like, that is a thing that is about to happen. But, I mean, God, what a blackened-shaped room that is, I thought. Like, damn, they're not kidding about the connections with this artist. Like, yep, that's what his art looks like. That's what Hollow Knight looks like. I feel like Metroid also looks like this to a great degree. It was like, oh, this is where I am. And that was another through line from the beginning that helped me feel connected, where there were so many times that you could see particularly geegery textures on the wall, like a row of black pipes, and it was, in fact, foreshadowing the Xenomorph. So I really felt like I was invited to the experience. I'd been here before to a degree. I was kind of like hip to what was going on, and that made me more emotionally vulnerable with it. Even though, God, God, it got me scared on some level. That fucking escape pod scene, man. The fucking escape pod scene, dude. Those pipes, the freaking hidey hole. Yeah, yeah. I'm still chewing on this. Watching most horror flicks, I'm not really okay with what's going on at any level. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm feeling inside, and I don't like why any of this is happening. It's just unsettling on every level, and I'm usually not getting anything out of it. And while I don't condone xenomorphs ripping through hordes of humans helplessly in space, it's somewhat easy to reconcile with. I mean, this is nature. And specifically, it's one of the freakiest real things in our nature. Like, y'all know that, right? Wasps lay eggs parasitically in caterpillars, and then when the babies come out, they kill them. It's so fucked, but it's just kind of a thing, and it's on our planet, and one day or another, you'll become aware of that fact. It's just nature. So I suppose I'm kind of starting at the deep end here, but I think you can see why this framework helped me be more open and enjoy the experience more. Basically, like, there's something more evil than the xenomorph. The xenomorph's not even evil, it's just looking for a snack as far as I can tell, you know? And it kind of makes the whole storyline in this movie some kind of human hubris, right? Like, there's this idea that the crew is expendable, and getting the creature home is the most important thing. That is brought in, just tiptoed into the story at the beginning. And oh boy, like that really got my mind going. I was very like intellectually hooked. I was like, okay, so this is a clash of values. This is a clash of values where Lieutenant Ripley doesn't think that getting the creature home is the most important thing, but Ash does. Okay, interesting. Science. Well, where is science standing at this point in the human future? It's something to think about. At first, I thought it was genuine scientific curiosity, you know? At that point, like, I didn't like that Ash overrode Ripley's decision to not let Kane back inside, but I could handle it. There's just something about that fucking character that made me feel like, okay, I trust him. Even though he's being suspicious, okay, I'm sure there's a reason. But seeing the directive just slowly reveal itself step by step over the course of the movie was just one of the best parts. It's so evil and fucked. By the time somebody is able to just throw away, say the line, I'm pretty sure they're just trying to get this valuable new bioweapon back home, I'm like, Oh, oh, you're all going to die. This is capitalism. So I feel like the framework these stories take place in are pretty hard to ignore so far. Like the commercial death trap, the Nostromo, with its mother computer that calls all the shots, it already views them as dead meat. So it's no surprise that they're gonna just die in here, you know? That's the tone. And then Romulus went so into detail about the desperation of poverty and the broken system and how hard everybody worked to get nothing, and it made the desperate choice to go hunting on the derelict spacecraft pretty understandable, honestly. I think maybe the reason I like the original, or I clicked with the original more on my first viewing, is because the sensory side of everything is deeply connected with the message and what's like genuinely going on. It's this clash between human ingenuity gone too far and the biological reality of what the world or the universe is capable of. Gloopy, goopy liquid is falling among dangling chains made for a gigantic, useless, giant spacecraft room nobody even knows how to use. Just these weird, empty, terrifying back rooms full of goopy goop and metal and weird beepy bloopies. The doom of our party and the mechanisms which brought it to them are right together. You have this total mixture of nature and the crazy, unhinged human mind, the collective mind. Society is in these chains. You've got fuck around and find out right next to each other. So I connected with Alien. I like it for what it is. I enjoyed its world. I found the formulaic parts really grounding, and I was able to just kind of keep all the evil balls that were being juggled in the air, and none of them came down and, I don't know, hit me in the face. I've said it many times, many ways over the course of many years. I just don't really enjoy being terrified. My family, New England born and raised, has always loved horror. Ever since I was a kid, horror has been around me. And they try to drag me into their A24 eras and whatnot, and while they're up having nightmares and losing sleep and smiling, I usually just walk away just very nervous and upset about the images that will now linger in my mind forever. And that hasn't really changed. But I really can't deny that my range for what is kind of scary while giving me chills, but ultimately just feels epic, has totally expanded over the years, and this movie mostly falls into that. I can't deny. I'm getting a taste for horror, I have to kind of confess that. But this is the first one I've ever loved. It's the first one I've ever been a fan of and that I wanted to rewatch, you know? The deaths are sad. There's just some, ooh, like, even the more whatever ones, there are these shots where I just have to wince and I have to look away and go, oh, it makes me sad. Definitely makes me sad on some level, but it's all encapsulated by a story that I trust. And we get to blame the horrors on unchecked corporate greed, which is very nice. However, some things definitely do escape being merely spooky. This movie definitely is disturbing. Like, the breakfast table scene. Oh, it's just, oh, like, I knew it was gonna happen. Obviously, I knew it was gonna happen, but just the way it plays out and the innocent way that it starts, and just the beautiful, like the beautiful light, warm colors of that room, the flower room they wake up in, and then the breakfast table in the beginning. It's so peaceful, and then it's so disturbing when that happens there. That's always gonna stick with me. I think I can make space for it, but it's always gonna stick with me. And then the fucking robot stuff. Oh my god. I saw a bunch of the robot stuff in Romulus, not all of it. I didn't care for it. I'm like, what is the message? Like, she wasn't supposed to love this guy that she treats like a brother because he's an android? Like, I don't know, fuck you, like android rights. But this one, like, I shouldn't have trusted him.
I shouldn't have trusted him. But, the way that I cared, I thought he was fine, but then it's like a little bit shitty, but then just creepy, creepy, creepy way. Not that creepy. Less creepy than some YouTube shit I used to see with my friends, but just like, just the terror, the subtle terror of like, why is he sweating milk? Like, I knew that androids had white blood and stuff, but like, the way, it's just so subtle. It's just so subtle. It's these little things that are just like knives. Like, he's drinking the fucking milk or whatever in the other scene, and I'm like, why is he drinking milk? I guess he just likes milk, whatever. They slipped that by me, and then he's a single drop of the white, and then her nose is bleeding. I don't know why her nose is bleeding. That whole scene, dude. Just the way he pops up next to her, and the way he like tosses her aside, and I'm like, why? I hadn't like put it together. Like, why is he so strong? Why can he throw her to the ground so well? The way he tries to kill her with a newspaper, the way that newspapers are makeshift weapons. Newspapers are lazy, makeshift, impromptu weapons for killing shit that you're not concerned about. The fact he tries to kill her with a newspaper, and it's so like crude and improvised, and there's like no emotion. Oh my god! And like I still don't know how to process the gender side of this with like the porny stuff on the wall. Like, whose room is that? That scene I think is so beautiful and so scary, and like needs to be dissected at some time on this channel. Like, oh my god! It's so dark, but I don't know, dude. It just works. It makes the narrative so good. It made me so emotionally invested. Like, fuck that, dude. So, collecting myself. I guess that's the horror movie watching experience that I've always seen other people doing. You just have to bellyache about the shit for like 3 minutes after. It's fine. 3 minutes. People talk about for hours. You can talk about that kind of scene. So, what is so good about this narrative overall? Like, well, what is it that it means? What am I talking about here? Is it just like the blips and the symbolism? Like, do I just like watching helpless workers get gobbled up under capitalism? So now we get to what really got this whole thing going. The hero of the movie. Someone who sometimes acts coldly, sometimes warmly, sometimes fiercely self-reliantly, sometimes she can stitch a team together, sometimes she really can't. But ultimately, someone who can adapt, someone who could keep her nerve, and someone who never lost her heart. Lieutenant Ellen Ripley is kind of a big deal. You could have accused me of only watching this for her. You may already assume that I only watch this for her. You yourself may only watch this movie for her, and I don't think that would even be a bad call. But for me, it's the way that everything comes together that really matters. I don't just play Metroid for the metallic corridors. I like to play as a woman and use skills that the world mocks, like your intuition, to find new upgrades and defeat big foes and stay strong in a scary place. I like playing as a female character in a horrifying world and using my self-reliance, something that this society outright demands of the marginalized, and weaponizing that against whatever robot, man, or beast is trying to fuck with me. The amount that Alien gave to this world is ridiculous, but let's just trace one little trickle down. Metroid. It's got the mother brain, it's got the Ripley Ridley thing, the Ridley director, and the ripped Rid. It couldn't be more obvious. Like, Metroid is super duper inspired by Alien. And Metroid itself happened to do a little inspiring, if you're not aware of all of Metroidvanias. I mean, you know, Alucard is there too, for sure, but there is just so much Metroid everywhere. Like, that's the understatement of the day, if not the year. And because of that, there's also a lot more female protagonists in Metroidvanias than anywhere else. And I love that. I've hardly ever gotten a chance to talk about how I think gender plays a really cool role in just Metroidvanias, and even if it's super duper subtle, I just appreciate it. I really appreciate being a girl and playing these games, you know? But then this is only one trickle, as I was talking about. Look at the neighboring ones, and you've got super similar vibes and stuff like survival horror, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure survival horror people are probably even more influenced than this, even if Metroid itself was like a direct, almost biological offspring. And both of them, you know, you've got improvised weapons for survival, you know? I mean, I think this probably lines up a little bit more with survival horror's use of weapons than Metroidvania, but I mean, I'm not dissatisfied. It's almost like a lay-in climax, except, you know, it's more Metroidvania style. Drag the woman to the spacesuit. Drag the spacesuit to the seatbelt. Get a flamethrower, I think. Turn on some knobs. I love when they use knobs in this movie and use levers and shit. Super underrated part of the script. Never said enough about the knobs. Turn the knobs, do some gas, get the thing kind of going. Now it's mad. Do the flamethrower or whatever. I think there's a flamethrower, and then just open up the door. And if your seatbelt is there, you can sing your little song, and it's fine. So, if you relate to the protagonist, which I think a lot of people can, thanks to her very just, yeah, that's what I would do in this situation type of decision making, then you are in the pocket while somebody is using a measured, thoughtful approach to surviving in a very scary environment against all odds, which I think makes it an essential influence for all of Metroidvanias, just even the subtle experience of it. That's how it feels to play a lot of these games. The movie might not be up everybody's alley, but we all owe something to it. I talk a lot about gender here, but Axiom Verge also has been a special favorite of mine for ages because I just like this freaky sci-fi world and how it explores contrasts of the natural and artificial in a way that demands both thoughtfulness and sensitivity to explore. It's basically the Alien thing, and I guess I kind of always knew it, but I didn't know it. Hell, I even love Gato Roboto and how that came out of this as just some kind of, I don't know, it must be like a reference, like love letter kind of dealio, like the cat, and you save the cat and the space station and the signal, and there's like the air ducts and the furnace, like, you know, like that's the Gato Roboto. And now Gato Roboto has even more culture among Metroidvania fans as the ultimate aftercare for after the first time you watch this movie. I strongly recommend playing Gato Roboto after. It makes you feel much better. So, man, nature, thoughtfulness, evolution, maintaining oneself, evolving, adapting, thoughtful survival. It's the Metroidvania movie, although I definitely give first place to the survival horror girlies if they would rather have it as the survival horror space station game. What is it, Dead Space? Yeah, sure. It's more of that than Metroidvanias. But boy, if you like Metroidvanias, you will see something in how these movies play out, I think. Not that I know whether or not I'm going to watch the other ones yet. I really don't know. I know I'm going to buy a DVD of this and like have it physical and rewatch it with like horror friends who maybe we don't have any other movies to watch together with, probably till I die at this rate. God, it's been a nice week. I love this movie. Just putting aside all the comparisons, it's neat. Like, I failed to even properly work the conversation about the HR Geeker LSD threesome into this video. I just didn't have time. There's a lot to talk about here. The art is cool. The xenomorph is cool. I didn't talk about that. That's also cool. The way it's permeated just everywhere in art and just like the iconicness of this formula. It's always gonna be on my mind. And for some reason, I feel like that makes me even more Nerol Jr. than I ever was. And I've already had a xenomorph Hatsune Miku centipede creature as my phone wallpaper since like April. And my Tumblr's full of this now, and you're probably going to keep hearing about it, which raises the age rating even further for this channel. And I dig it.